Hello everyone and welcome in to the Final Four of the Women's Lacrosse Tournament here in Evanston, Illinois, as the Maryland Terrapins are just seconds away from taking on the UNC Tar Heels on WMUC Sports, your turfs, your station. I'm Tischler, joined on the call by Daniel Stein. And Daniel, just minutes away, the energy here in Evanston is at a fever pitch.
The energy is really cool, Dash. I mean, it is a beautiful day in a beautiful environment. This stadium right here, Martin Stadium in Evanston, is right on Lake Michigan. There's so many people here, and you can just feel the rivalry here between Maryland and UNC, two of the best teams in women's lacrosse history, gearing up for a spot in the national championship. What could be better?
Yeah, I mean, certainly quite the game, quite the rivalry. Two old ACC schools. Of course, Maryland has found success in the Big Ten since, but old habits die hard. These are two programs who won't like the sight of each other very much. Of course, this game's exciting not just because it's in the Final Four, and because it's between two teams with a bit of a rivalry between them, but because it's genuinely an intriguing matchup. I mean, UNC all year has been a team who I think many lacrosse fans thought were perhaps the team to beat, but Maryland as the year has gone along has revealed themselves to be a true national power who at one point rightfully had earned the #1 spot in the rankings. And now they meet in the Final Four. Both of them might have thought they would see each other in a championship game earlier this year. Daniel, what are going to be some of the key matchups in this one?
Well, I think that it's important to know that if it weren't for Northwestern, these two teams would be undefeated, essentially, and you have one kind of fluke loss to Michigan for Maryland. Something that I'm really going to be looking at, Dash, is the attackers for Maryland, because they've been so impressive this season. It starts with Lauren LaPointe, who's got 64 goals, leads the team. She just ran out in her bright red uniform, but also Keely Block and Christian Shanahan. That's a lot of experience. It's over a decade of experience combined between those three attackers, and that's going to be the matchup, especially with Betty Nelson in goal for UNC. A very good keeper, but this is a UNC defense that really leads the way, and then you have J.J. Soriano in goal for Maryland as well, but the attack is really where I'm going to start for the Terps.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that Maryland attack, as you've talked about, very experienced. After the matchup against Rutgers, Keely Block told the media she was like a grandma on the team, and certainly if she's one, then I can only imagine that makes Kristen Shanahan as well, the second grandma. Anyway, there's a lot of veteran experience, and certainly a Maryland team who, for a lot of these players, really maybe a chance to go out with a huge high in this tournament. What are they going to need to do to beat this UNC team? You know,
I think it starts with stopping this UNC offense, which is led by Chloe Humphrey, who's been one of the best players, if not the best player in the country. But I think Maryland has the infrastructure to do it. You have J.J. Soriano, who just ran out. You also have Kennedy Major, who you didn't really know if she was going to play. She is back in the starting lineup after getting injured versus Navy. And so if this Terps defense can just slow down, not even stop Chloe Humphrey, but just slow her down, I think that's going to give Kathy Reese and her Terps a lot bigger of a shot to win.
Yeah, it certainly would. Of course, Major, as you said, had an ugly-looking injury against Navy. Maryland hearts were in Maryland mouths at that moment. It looked like her tournament might be done. She's back today, so Maryland fully healthy. UNC, on the other hand, as you talked about, Chloe Humphrey leads the way. I mean, when you said she's a player who many think might be the best player in the country, that's spot on. What does Maryland need to do to stop her? What does she bring to the table?
Well, we asked Kathy Reese about her this week in media, and she said that, hey, she's a fan of Humphrey. She's super fun to watch, very good with the ball on her stick, very good off ball as well, and she's a disruptor, and that's really what this UNC team is going to do. And ultimately, I think Maryland has a lot of the upper hand against other teams experience-wise, because this is a pretty old Maryland team, especially up front, but UNC is going to match that at a lot of different levels. So I think it's going to come down to if Maryland can just play cohesive lacrosse, minimize the mistakes, I think that is the best path to the national championship.
Absolutely. And of course, we talk about Chloe Humphrey. Her sister Ashley has even more points on the year. 31 goals, 90 assists for Ashley, 90 goals with 28 assists for Chloe. And that's not all. On this UNC team, Marissa White has almost hit the 50-goal plateau. You'd imagine she could hit that today. And Olivia Vergano is almost at 40 goals for the year. So a very potent offense. Daniel, when you look at them, what stands out?
When I look at this North Carolina offense, obviously it starts with Humphrey, but it's also just how balanced it is, because you also have Addison Patillo coming off a fantastic season with 55 goals, nearly 60 points, and this is a North Carolina team that can get you in a lot of different ways. You also have Kate Levy in the midfield playing for her mom, Jenny Levy, and just littered down the spotting board. It's just green after green after green. There's so many All-Americans on this team. There's so many different ways that they can get you.
I want to give a correction. That was last year's stats for a second. I was reading and thinking, what's going on here? This year, though, the numbers get even crazier. Chloe Humphrey, 102 goals, 46 assists. Addison Patillo, as you mentioned, 55 goals, 14 assists. And as if that wasn't all, of course, you've also got players like Darcy Felter and Eliza Osborne having great years. You know, you look at up and down this lineup, too. There's a lot of Maryland players. Caroline Godin, so far this year, having another great season with 20 goals, 23 assists. She's a Maryland native, alongside her Kate Levy, daughter of her coach. Jenny Levy, a North Carolina native, but played her high school lacrosse at McDonough, where Godin and Corey Edmondson also played. So this game has a bit of a Maryland flavor.
It definitely does, and you know, lacrosse is a sport that's primarily recruited in the Northeast and especially in Maryland. So that's the area of the country where Kathy Reese has cleaned up, and she's going to go shake hands with Kaylee Harden, one of the main players for UNC. But that's, I think, what's so impressive about this UNC team is that Chapel Hill is not exactly a hotbed of women's lacrosse. The only North Carolina native really in this starting lineup is Kate Levy, who's Jenny Levy's daughter. But Levy has really cleaned up in the Northeast, while Kathy has really recruited well in her own backyard. And this game is so cool because you have two of the best coaches ever in the sport going at it, and the two are very intertwined as well.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a small world, but a power-packed world here. East Coast women's lacrosse, as you talked about, and both coaches doing a great job. They're in recruiting battles against each other. They've obviously played each other times over the years. And today we'll see what's going to happen now between these two storied programs. UNC looking, of course, for their second straight national championship. Maryland back in a Final Four for the first time since 2021, and really looking to make their mark in a year where it's felt like they might have a bit of destiny on their side. We're going to go now to the lineups, starting with Maryland. Of course, as we talked about, J.J. Soriano will get the start in goal. Kennedy Major is healthy and will be joined by Maryland's regular backline of Maddie Sterling, Nev O'Farrell, and Annabella Schaefer. Of course, after them, it's going to be Maryland's usual midfield. Kayla Gilmore has been so good on the draw for this team, and she'll be joined as well by Lexi Dupac and Corey Edmondson. And, of course, this Maryland attack, we've talked about it ad nauseum. It's so deep. You have Kristen Shanahan, Keely Block, Lauren LaPointe, and, of course, they're joined by Jordan Lipkin, who's another player who could be an equalizer. She's really come on strong as this tournament has gone along. Yeah,
Lipkin is one of a handful of players who were here the last time this squad made it to the Final Four back in 2022. Now, they ultimately didn't play that much. It's her and Sterling and Major, but they remember that, and here they are more than 4 years later back in this starting lineup. But it's hard to believe we've been on the air and we barely have mentioned Corey Edmondson. Her role has changed. She's not scoring as much as she did last year, but she is an integral part of this team. Unanimous first-team All-American, first-team All-Big Ten. She is the engine in that midfield, and she did get slowed down a little bit in that Rutgers game, but they're going to need her arguably the most today if they want to beat UNC.
Absolutely. I mean, she's become such a special player as a two-way midi, absolutely lived up to the hype of being the #1 overall recruit in the nation coming into Maryland. And, of course, she'll have a tough job today facing off against a great UNC team. We're going to turn now to this Tar Heels lineup. Obviously, one of really the best teams in the country. And when you look at it, she's going up and down by the numbers. Obviously, Chloe Humphrey is a big star, but joining her will be Caroline Godin, as we mentioned. They're also going to be joined by Rafton, Forrest, Corkins, Levy, Osborne, Patillo, Harden, Leonard, Straka, Nelson is the 12 for the Tar Heels. And we're just seconds away now from the draw. So, you wait. Of course, in games like this, the draw even more critical than the regular season. And for UNC, difficult matchup going up against Kayla Gilmore, but they'll be turning to Charlotte Rafton to take this first draw of the game. Daniel, what are you looking for in the draw circle matchup here?
Just for Kayla Gilmore to continue what she's been doing. Another player whose role has changed a little bit, but if the Terps can get out on these possessions on offense first, they're going to be off to a good start.
So, the opening draw here at Martin Field in Evanston, Illinois. And still loose. We'll see which way it goes. A heavy collision, and it's UNC's ball to start. So the Tar Heels getting us underway here. And an early look at this UNC offense with Osborne had the ball initially. And now the first look at Chloe Humphrey. Whistle sounds, and Humphrey still at X.
The ball on the field. Had to pick that one up.
So a brief technical issue, and now Humphrey with the ball. Looks like she's being watched here by Maddie Sterling, arguably Maryland's best defender this season. Is going to be playing pro as drafted. So an opportunity here for this UNC offense. Pass out, and here's Kate Levy. Levy's pass off. UNC just cycling the ball here. Patillo, double teamed. Swings it back out to Levy. Levy's got to move on Gilmore. And now heavy contact, and she's losing control. But we're going to get a call here for the referee, and it looks like this will be a big early opportunity for UNC. There was a lot of contact on the play.
Yeah, it's going to be a free position opportunity for Levy, and she just tried to dunk her way through traffic. Here's an opportunity here, Suriano, to try to assert dominance, make a save early.
So Levy here for the free position on the right hash. Center right hash to be exact. And moving in, the shot saved by Suriano, and a big one here to open up this game.
Yeah, she tried to go bottom and didn't really go into the corner enough. These are the kinds of saves that Suriano needs to make today.
And now Maryland going through midfield with Lexi Dupac, moving into the UNC defensive quarter. And now Kirsten Shanahan and X moving in front of the net. The shot didn't go by much. And she drew heavy contact. We'll see what the call is going to be here. It looks like this might be a free position for Maryland.
Think they might get a shooting space call here as the Shanahan's defender fell down, and so Shanahan just had a free run at the goal, draws contact, and she has the opportunity to put the Terps up early.
So ultimately a free position for Kristen Shanahan. 2 free positions in quick succession here.
Maryland free position number 3, Kristen Shanahan.
Shanahan also the center right hash. Moving in, the shot, and she scores! The veteran transfer opens the scoring here for Maryland, and it's the Terps who will get us underway in the Final Four.
Well, Shanahan does what Levy couldn't, and this time she beats Betty Nelson for UNC. What a story she is. Had so much adversity in her time at Notre Dame. It was thought that earlier in her career in South Bend, she wasn't even going to come back to play after tearing both of her ACLs. She comes back, gets a grad year at Maryland, and puts the Terps up 1-0.
So a huge moment right there for Kristen Shanahan, maybe the biggest goal she's scored all year at the moment. She gets us underway here, and we go back to the draw circle, where yet again, it will be Gilmore against Rathjen. So 13-14 on the clock here in the first quarter. It's been a pretty fast start. Maryland up 1-0. And Gilmore wins the draw this time to herself. Chase to her right, or to her left. UNC's defensive right, and here's Nevo Farrell now on Maryland's right side. Pass cross field to Maddie Sterling. Sterling is across the halfway line, and she's found Lexi Dupac. So Maryland into their attacking area. Dupac moving right to left. Flip off to Maisie Clevenger. Clevenger moving to her right. She's be headed towards X and has found Lauren LaPointe. LaPointe moving, and now into the immediate area. The shot is a great stop. Lipkin was alone in front, and that was looked to be headed for goal, but ultimately an incredible save right there. And now UNC going the other way. Opportunity here through Harden. Let's now pass it off. So right there, though, Nelson with the stop of the game here early on.
Yeah, she comes back and makes a really good play. Lipkin tries to go high, but Nelson predicts it, gets her stick up. I don't even think it went into the net. It kind of hit the side of the stick and bounced right back in front, but that gives the Tar Heels a break here as they're back on offense.
So the Tar Heels on offense, as you said, Daniel. Now in X with Chloe Humphrey. Well defended by Maddie Sterling, moving around X in front of the net, but ultimately forced back. Good defensive work, and now a pass just miscontrolled there for a second by Osborne. Osborne at UNC's left, attacking to her right. Now into the 8-meter circle, and ultimately pass out. Behind an X now with Godine. Godine looking for options, is shadowed by Dupac. Has to pass it out to UNC's left side. Here's Humphrey moving into the circle. The shot, a great stop by Suriano for Patillo. Patillo had it right with an open lane to net in the middle of the circle, but ultimately that's well saved. And Suriano coming up big here early for the Terps as well. Kennedy Major in a bit of trouble here on her right side. Looks to be moving okay. Passes it off now to Nevo Farrell, and she'll swing it to Annabella Schaefer on this near side, Maryland's left side. Schaefer's pass controlled by Keely Block up high, and she's now moving in. Block on Maryland's left attacking flank. The Terps attacking right to left. Maryland wearing red with white letters, and UNC in white with the powder blue lettering. Block moving towards the center of the field, and now just outside the fan. And now the pass in front was deflected. Loose still. Lipkin got a stick on it, and a foot race ensues. This will be picked up here by Corkins.
You go back to that Suriano save. Addison Patillo has got 55 goals on the season. That is point blank center. That's a goal she has to score, but Suriano so far made another really nice save.
Yeah, so another good stop here in the early going. Both Suriano and Nelson with good saves, and UNC now back on the attack. The Tar Heels looking to make their mark. It's been an interesting start here. Down to 10:06 to go in the first quarter. Chloe Humphrey moving into the arc and draws the free position. Stick close to the head there, and might have been some contact. So here it is, the most dangerous player in women's lacrosse, arguably, with a free position for UNC, and a huge opportunity here for the Tar Heels to tie it up. 9:46 on the clock here in the first quarter at Evanston. Humphrey. Moving in, and the shot into the back of the net. Suriano went the right way, but it was well placed by Humphrey, and it's 1-1 here in Evanston. 9:30 on the clock, and we've got a tie ball game.
Yeah, Humphrey just sneaks it by her, and like you said, Dash, Suriano had the right idea. This ball is not thrown that hard, but she's just able to put it by her. She's got triple-digit goals for a reason. She's even better when she's in that free position range, but ultimately, I think for Maryland, this is a good start because you've held this North Carolina offense to just one goal through the first 5 minutes and change. If they can be a little bit more clinical on offense here and just kind of take this game possession by possession, they're going to have a better outlook on trying to win this one.
Yeah, it's worth noting Maryland does seem to have had more possession so far, but UNC outshooting them 3-2 at the moment. We head back to the draw. 9:30 to go here in the first quarter. Gilmore. And wins it again against Rafton. It's 2-1 now for Maryland to the draw battle. And Lexi Dupac, who's done a great job moving the ball forward in transition, moves to her right. A nice little dodge right there. And the pass, though, is intercepted. A great stick, and now an opportunity for North Carolina to go the other way. It was a great interception there. And now immediately 2-1. Humphrey gets it to the 8-meter arc, and just like that, buries it, and UNC has the lead. 9:05 on the clock, 2 goals in 30 seconds of game time. And for the Tar Heels, this is exactly what they wanted.
Well, things can change really quickly, and so far, Kayla Gilmore has done a really nice job on the draw, and she does win it, but Lexi Dupac just doesn't really see the defender as she turns around and tries to pass it the other way. And then when you get Chloe Humphrey with that much space, it's a really nice finish as well. Kind of far out, but she just slams it right past JJ Suriano. Terps down 2-1 now.
And it all started with that turnover caused by Grace Ann Leonard, the great interception on that pass. And what a play was that? So we go back to the draw. Rathjen, Gilmore, part 4. And the draw. Oh, a bit of a midair collision right there. Rathjen got into trouble running into Corkins, and Gilmore had it for a second. Ball is still loose. Eventually this will be scooped up by Maryland. Did a really good bit of work there by LaPointe, who was under pressure and now can move the ball into Maryland's attacking area. Here's Shanahan, moving to her left from the right, into the 12-meter fan, lost the ball for a second, a heavy deflection, and another turnover picked up by Leonard. So Leonard picks up the ground ball, and now UNC can go the other way. Pass across, and for the Tar Heels, an opportunity. Kate Levy, watched by Shanahan, will eventually reach the attacking area, and she's on the left for UNC. Passes it off now, and Osborne, moving to her left, has passed it off to Godine. Godine in X. And UNC eventually will recycle it back to Levy now, moving to her left from the right edge of the fan. The pass behind to Godine, a bit high, but she'll corral it. Godine to Humphrey in front, it's 3-1. Humphrey with a great cut, got in front of the net, and ultimately buries it from a bit of a tricky angle, but a range that she's never gonna miss.
I mean, it just seems like in the snap of a finger, North Carolina have put up 3 seemingly unanswered for right now. Humphrey had 3 goals last game versus Stanford in their 14-11 win. That was a down performance for her. She put up a hat trick, and that's a slow game, slow day at the office for Humphrey. She's already got 3 in the first quarter, and this is what makes her really tough because ultimately this is pretty good defense from Maryland. They guard her well. They read that cut, even though she did have the step ahead, but Humphrey just able to sneak it by. Terps really have to create some momentum. They need a long offensive possession here.
So 8 minutes left in the first quarter, and already Chloe Humphrey with the hat trick. As you said, Daniel, Maryland needs some momentum. Took the lead here through Kristen Shanahan, but having trouble with this UNC offense. Being outshot 5-2, a couple of turnovers really hurting them here. Back to the draw, Gilmore will win this one, and here's Corey Edmondson. And a bit of confusion there about who had the ball. A free signal to stay with the Terps. Edmondson. Here's Maisie Clevenger on the left side of the field. Her pass off to Keely Block. Block looking for space. Forced wide on the left side here.
I mean, Kayla Gilmore is getting the job done on the draw. That was something that I was kind of concerned about, but even if they're getting it via infractions on North Carolina, Maryland is still getting the ball right off the bat.
Yeah, and here's Block now, moving in to that 12-meter fan, and the shot, a good one, but it'll go wide. And the Tar Heels there first. So good defensive hustle, and they get the ball back. And as you said, Daniel, certainly Maryland's success in the draw, a positive sign for the Terps so far, but at the moment unable to capitalize. 7:10 on the clock in the first quarter. If you're just joining us, Maryland down 3-1 against UNC. And here come the Tar Heels again on offense. This time it'll be Eva and Grilly passing it off. So for UNC, a bit of rotation on offense now. Here's Patillo moving to her right. Kylie Modice, pass off. And the shot, a good stop by Suriano at point-blank range from Kaylee Harden, who is moving to her right on the left hand of UNC's attack. So here's Nevo Farrell now. Farrell passes it off. Here's Annabella Schaefer. So a couple of big stops here early on for Suriano. Kennedy Major now on Maryland's right. A pass to Maddie Sterling. Sterling moving into Maryland's attacking area and looking for a pass. Clevenger making a move, and she'll find her. Now Clevenger on the right side of Maryland's attack, just outside that 12-meter fan. So Shanahan on the right for Maryland now. Block, center of the park, outside the 12-meter fan. One-on-one defended here, and ultimately Block moving in to the fan. The pass in front's a good one to Clevenger. Took contact and gestured to the referee asking for a call, but ultimately she's forced back out. Here comes Block again. Block looking for a move into the fan, now makes it. Moving to her right, just right of center, now moving around to the right side, looking for a pass. No one's made the cut for her, and she'll pass out to Edmondson. This is a good defensive stand here. Time ticking down the clock, 6 seconds on the shot clock. And now Clevenger, 1 second, and the horn is going to sound with 5:07 to go here on the clock in the first quarter overall. So a good turnover forced right there by UNC. A day, it was a long possession, but Maryland did not get a look at the end of it.
Yeah, they do get the long possession, and I think Clevenger does have an argument there. It did kind of seem like she got hit in the head, but either way, the Terps don't even get a shot off. Normally, when you're running out of time, you at least want to dump it into the corner, but Clevenger just keeps the ball in her stick. Now you give UNC plenty of time to set up their offense.
Yeah, so for the Tar Heels, a great start here. Levy's pass into X for Humphrey. All 3 goals so far for UNC. 4:32 on the clock. It's 3-1 Tar Heels in the first quarter if you're just joining us. Now the move in by Patillo. Turning to her right and moving towards the center of the field. And eventually the pass went across. Here's Osborne, just right of center. Finds Humphrey. Humphrey's got a bit of room. The shot went high, but it'll stay with UNC. So Humphrey at the edge of the 8-meter arc there. Here's Godin. Godin and X on UNC's left side. Moves to her left, which is the right side. Defended here by Ingrilli. That's Lila Ingrilli. Eva Ingrilli, of course, on UNC. And now an opportunity here for Osborne. Behind the net, here's Humphrey at X. Now at UNC's left-hand side in attack. The pass in front. Levy scores! It's 4-1. A great feed by Humphrey. Found Levy right in front of the net, and she buries it.
This is really good defense for the Terps for the most part. They tried to get Humphrey kind of on the edge of the 8-meter fan. She goes from deep, can't find the back of the net there, but then through all that traffic, she's able to find Levy just behind the Maryland defense. We're watching it up on the board in front of us. That is an elite assist there. So Humphrey's already got 3 goals and an assist to go along with it. Puts the Terps down by 3.
So Humphrey's putting up a statement right here.
But hold on, Dash. They haven't changed it. I wonder if this goal got waved off.
Yeah, it looks like it has been waved off, actually, as we'll see what the call is there. But
I mean, they're not going back to the center.
No, they're certainly not, and we've gotten a chance of you can't do that for the Maryland fans. Didn't see the referee's signal, but ultimately it's going to be called off. And so Maryland, now Emma Abazia escapes Humphrey's check, and the whole bench and sideline was angry about that. Nevo Farrell moving towards the center of the field, and so for Maryland to break, her pass is almost intercepted, but Maddie Sterling got it, and Maddie Sterling moving now to her left will find Keely Block. Block on the left of Maryland's attack. So an early break for the Terps, down 3-1 with 3:09 to go in the first quarter if you're just joining us. Here's Emma Abazia. Abazia, center of the park, just looking for options. Has found Block here. And here's Lauren LaPointe, whose name we haven't said a ton early on the left-hand side of this Maryland attack. Well defended here. Now the pass in front just went out of Block's stick, but Abazia recovers, moving in towards the arc. Here's Gilmore, outside the fan on the right side. Gilmore had a big day against Navy. Now moves inside, and it's a nice bit of work by her to find space. The heavy check. We'll see what the call is going to be. It was Osborne backtracking. He was shoved into the ground just to the right of the goal, and that'll be a free position here for Gilmore. This feels like a huge opportunity. Maryland being outshot 7-3 with 2:23 to go here in the first quarter. This feels like a chance the Terps have to have.
Yeah, for sure. You need this goal here to put the deficit back to 1. And it looks like it's going to be Gilmore to take it.
Yeah, let's see. This might not have been given as a free position, actually. And indeed it wasn't. So Abazia with the ball. Moves back from the fan. Moving to her right now. Double teamed here. Moves back towards X, but she took a check. And we'll see what the call is going to be. It'll be the game's first card, a green card. And looks like it's going to go against Kylie Mattis. So a break for Maryland here, down 3-1 with 2:01 to go in the first. Kylie Mattis, the guilty party, headed off, and Maryland will have a woman up opportunity here. So the Terps with the ball on the right side of the attack. Lauren LaPointe with it in her stick. Pass off to Lipkin, back to LaPointe. LaPointe, back to Lipkin. Lipkin moving to the edge of the fan here on Maryland's right side, our far side.
The green card was issued in North
Here's
Carolina
Gilmore.
as number 3,
Pass back to Edmondson. Gilmore now on the left side of the fan. Well defended. Here's Lipkin on the right side. The pass in front. Shanahan, the shot. Delay, and she scores. 3-2, and Kristen Shanahan stepping up to the plate for Maryland. Second goal of the day. It was 99 seconds to go in the first quarter. It's a 1-goal game again, 3-2.
Well, if you told me, Dash, that near the end of the first quarter, the only 2 goals for Maryland would come from Kristen Shanahan, I wouldn't be shocked. but I would be a little surprised. You figured that, hey, Corey Edmondson has been the best player. Keely Block has been one of the best postseason performers on this team. Lauren LaPointe has the most goals, and yet it's Shanahan who has made the most of her opportunities. This is not an easy play. It's a feed kind of through all of the traffic, a high ball that she brings in, puts it past Betty Nelson, and you can't overestimate how big of a goal that is, because it just feels like a 2-goal lead feels so much more significant than a 1-goal lead, and that's what Maryland's brought it to.
So a 1-goal game, 3-2 UNC up on the Terps here, 1:39 to go in the first quarter as we head to break on WBC Sports. Your Terps, your station.
Courtesy of Marriott Bonvoy.
So welcome back as we've got 1 minute and 39 seconds to go in the first quarter of this Final Four matchup between UNC and Maryland. The Terps down 3-2 against UNC, and remarkably so far, all the goals scored by 2 players. It's 3 for Chloe Humphrey and 2 for Kristen Shanahan at this moment. And to welcome you in with myself, Dash Tischler, alongside me, Daniel Stein. Daniel, what have you made of this game so far?
Well, what I've made of it, Dash, is that I think this is kind of what we expected. North Carolina is the higher-ranked team. They have seemingly led the way a little bit, but hey, this Terps team is not that far behind, just ranked 1 spot lower. These 2 teams have pretty similar records, and we've seen the Chloe Humphrey show on offense for North Carolina, as you expected. But for the Terps, with such this balanced attack, you didn't know where it was going to strike, but you knew that hopefully they were going to get there, and that's what they have in a 3-2 ball game. Terps just down by 1.
Yeah, so Maryland right where they need to be at this point, just down 1. We go back to the draw where Maryland's had a lot of success. Kayla Gilmore up 4-1 on her opponent, who so far has been Rathjen. Of course, UNC has a couple of players who can take draws, as throughout the season they haven't just used Rathjen, but again, she's the one out there, and this time she'll be able to win it. Ultimately, the ground ball scooped up by a teammate, in this case, Kaylee Harden, and UNC have the ball back. So the Tar Heels go on the attack here. And a bit of a low pass, scooped up by Levy on this right side of this UNC attack. Clock down to 1 minute, 15 seconds, and now here's Humphrey moving right to left to the front of the goal. And a big stop right there by Suriano at point-blank range. I think Humphrey just went low, and ultimately Suriano read it perfectly. That felt like a huge opportunity right there for UNC.
Yeah, that was gross from Suriano. I mean, she has come to play today. Humphrey basically just tries to do it herself, tries to go point blank, but Suriano just matches her stick against Humphrey's and is able to put the squeeze on it. And so now you have an opportunity, if the Terps can clear it, to try to bring this game level.
So 42 seconds to go here in the first quarter, and Maryland will see if they try to be aggressive here, as Maisie Clevenger took a heavy stick to the face. No call from the referees, and ultimately play goes on. Here's Maddie Sterling in the center of the field, moving into the attacking zone. She's got a head of steam in open space. Sterling had it knocked out of her stick. The ground ball scooped up initially by Lipkin, still loose, still battling, and Lipkin gets it. Now had to get it out of her hands. Here's Kristen Shanahan, heavily guarded here, and gets away from a couple of Tar Heel players. She's had some games so far. Shanahan moving to her right with 8 seconds on the clock in the first quarter. It looks like Maryland is just going to hold. Edmondson had her stick up, but Shanahan calming things down as the horn will sound. We head to the second quarter, where Daniel Stein will have play-by-play for you on WBC Sports, your Terps, your station. Maryland trailing 3-2 against Northwestern.
Every pass, every shot. It's not just the coaching, it's the comment sections, the DMs, the losers who make threats and harass you. But this isn't their game to play. It's yours. The NCAA is drawing the line, educating about the dangers of sports betting, tracking online threats, and protecting the integrity of the game. See all the ways the NCAA puts student athletes first.
Well, we sure do have a good one brewing here on the lakefront at Martin Stadium in beautiful Evanston, Illinois. It's the 2026 NCAA Women's Lacrosse Final Four, and we got it right for you on WMUC Sports. Daniel Stein joined by Dash Tischler. Our score is 3-2 North Carolina. Terps find themselves down by 1 as we get ready for the second quarter. 15 minutes go back on the clock with the Terps starting with possession. Dash, what were your takeaways from the first 15?
I mean, I thought it was an interesting one because it felt like UNC really dominated the flow of the game. Maryland won the draw controls up 4-2 in that battle, but UNC forced so many turnovers. Ultimately, they outshot Maryland 8-4, and it felt like they were constant in Maryland's offensive half, but at the moment, Maryland only down 3-2. You would take that if you're Kathy Reese and company.
Kristen Shanahan's got the only 2 goals for the Terps here this afternoon, and for the Tar Heels, it's been the phenomenal sophomore Chloe Humphrey. She's already got a first quarter hat trick. She's got 3 goals to go with it. Tar Heels had a 4th that was wiped off by a penalty that gave the Terps the ball. Here we go, we're underway in the second quarter. Corey Edmondson's got it for the Terps. An open look for Kayla Gilmore as she tries to slide it under the leg of Betty Nelson, the Tar Heel goalie. Can't get it to go. Terps back on offense. Christian Shanahan with the ball near the 8-meter circle. They put it inside. They looked for LaPointe, but she could not put it past Nelson again as a yellow card awarded to somebody. We'll have to figure out.
It's against LaPointe.
It's on LaPointe. What happened there, Dash?
Didn't get a good look at it, but I assume she must have had some sort of contact on the shot. I didn't see where it hit. It looked clean to me. So
could have been a dangerous follow-through. Either way, Tar Heels stand tall on the first possession. 14:43 to go in the first half with Terps now playing defense. Get our first look at the Tar Heel offense here in the second quarter. Ball's in the stick of Charlotte Corkins right now as she crosses the midfield line. Tar Heels going right to left. White jerseys, the powder blue lettering. Terps in their red uniforms with the white lettering. Really good jersey battle here. And a really good battle between number 3 Maryland and number 2 North Carolina. Tar Heels on offense. Slung out to Caroline Gadeen. Owings Mills native goes to her right. Trying to get something past Suriano to start off the quarter. North Carolina around the 12-meter circle. Now behind the goal, they feed it through. They somehow got it. A shot on Suriano, but it went wide and into the stick of Kennedy Major. Terps on the clear as Major falls down. It slips right into the stick of Humphrey for a moment. Ball still on the ground. Maddie Sterling trying to pick that one up for herself. Still on the ground now. Sterling's got it. Terps will go on the clear.
It's a huge pickup by Sterling right there. Aggressive hit on the initial stick check, and ultimately a lot of contact there.
Brief whistle here as Corey Edmondson will come in. Mae Marshall will check out for the Terps. Maryland has the ball, their own defensive third, in the stick of Annabella Schaefer. 3-2 North Carolina here with 13.5 to play in the first half. Just one possession each for these two teams, both coming up empty. Winner of this game plays either Northwestern or Johns Hopkins in the national championship. It's going to be Big Ten representation either way. Exciting for the conference here as JJ Suriano has it in her stick, but she's looking for a pass partner, trying to get it to Nev O'Farrell, but it's a loose ball. Healy block in the area as well for the Terps. It goes out of play. Whose ball is it? Kathy Reese says it's Maryland ball, and the referee agrees.
Yeah, a bit of a scramble there. A risky pass from Suriano into O'Farrell.
Kayla Gilmore's got it. Terps still can't get it out of their own defensive third here. There's only 30 seconds on the shot clock. Gilmore now has a lane as they try to cross into midfield, which they do. Keeley Block's got it. 25 seconds on the shot clock for Maryland. Block the pen transfer with it now to the far side.
Penalty has been released.
In the glove of Jordan Lipkin. Lipkin works around the crease. Can't find anything on Nelson, goes out to LaPointe. Just 10 seconds, Terps have to get something started quickly. LaPointe gets past her man, throws it up, and scores! We are level at 3. Lauren LaPointe works her way past Kate Levy and works it past Betty Nelson. And this is a whole new ball game. Talking about making something out of nothing. Just 9 seconds left on the shot clock was all Lauren LaPointe needed.
Yeah, LaPointe released from her penalty and immediately goes into attack mode. Just a great run there and a finish from a tough angle. I mean, that's exactly what you needed if you're Maryland. And you know, so far, UNC's had the run of play. Maryland's played sloppy. The Terps find themselves at 3-3. You gotta like that if you're Kathy Reese and company.
100th career goal for Lauren LaPointe. She's got 65 of them this year. And this game is tied at 3 apiece. As we head back to the circle, Kayla Gilmore matching up with Charlotte Rathjen for the draw. A couple of New Yorkers in the center circle. 3-3, LaPointe brings us level. First goal scorer not named Chloe Humphrey or Kristen Shanahan today. 12:24 in this second quarter. Referee blows her whistle, ball up in the air, and this one's going to be collected by Rathjen for the Tar Heels. Tar Heels working right to left. Rathjen navigates traffic, hands it off to Charlotte Corkins, who gets into the attacking third. North Carolina will set up that offense. It was in the stick of Chloe Humphrey, who passed it to her right. And they go all the way out to Kaylee Harden. UNC, the defending national champs, 22-0 last season, looking to repeat under 31st year head coach Jenny Levy. Harden drives to the right side, puts it up, saved by Suriano. Out of play, closest to it is North Carolina. They got 50 seconds to work with on the clock.
Another big chance right there. North Carolina's had a few that they've missed.
Harden with it on the outskirts of the 12-meter. Gets past O'Farrell. Harden now picks up a double team, has to dish it off. Humphrey with it, 30 seconds on the clock. Tries to work it around, but got the ball taken away by Schaefer, and it's whistled off. It just feels like these 50-50 calls have gone towards the Tar Heels, and a bunch of Terps have their hands on their heads, fans and players. Humphrey's going to have a chance here from the free position. Center right hash in a one-on-one with JJ Suriano. The 8-meter circle. Humphrey waits for the whistle, trying to bring North Carolina ahead once more. 3-3, with under 11 to go. Humphrey started early. We're going to try it one more time.
Yeah, this feels big right here for UNC. They've had a bunch of good chances, but haven't been able to score recently.
Suriano's made 5 saves today. Can the All-American put one up again? Humphrey fires, Suriano saves! Terps going to try to go quickly on the counter. Annabella Schaefer has it with green grass in front of her. Going to cross into North Carolina territory and pump the brakes. Schaefer put to the ground, and it's going to go UNC's way. Harden checked her out of bounds.
Wow. I mean, I thought that was going to be another call that would go in Maryland's way that didn't. So a few hard checks now, not punished by the referees.
She kind of ran herself into a corner, did Schaefer. She picked up a double team as she was going towards the touchline, but just feels like there's been more contact allowed here by this referee crew. So it's a Maryland turnover. They already have 6 today. UNC just has 1.
Yeah, not a good number for Maryland, and that's really been their biggest problem today, has been those turnovers. Of course, it's worth noting, though, that going back to the last free position, JJ Serrano, 6 saves today, only 3 goals allowed. That's not sustainable, but it is incredible.
UNC circling here, looking for something. It's going to be Humphrey on the left side against Sterling. Underhand flips it behind her. It's a loose ball. Eliza Osborne has it. And a whistle here. Could we have a free position on UNC? And it is going to set up Eliza Osborne, the All-American, with a chance against Suriano from the 8-meter. Free position, one-on-one here with 9:10 to go. This game tied up at 3 in the second quarter. Osborne fires, puts it past and over the goal.
I think Serrano might have gotten something on that again. I mean, this has been incredible by her.
Humphrey picks up by Schaefer as the ball just trickles into the stick of Patillo. She's going to have a one-on-one with Edmondson. She wins the one-on-one, puts it up on Suriano, but once again it goes wide. Patillo goes to the ground. 8:43 to play in the half. Still with North Carolina. 30 seconds on the shot clock. Gadeen goes right. Stops, falls to a knee. Flag goes up. How many whistles are going to go against Maryland?
Just a silly play there by Schaefer. Godin went down to a knee, and I think Schaefer checked her. Completely needless, and it's given up a free position.
Free position for Caroline Godin. Her 80th career appearance for UNC. She'll have a try for a free position. Looking to put UNC in front 4-3. Godin hurls it past Suriano. It's a 1-goal lead for North Carolina. Just look at the turnovers and fouls in this game. Terps have 5 fouls. UNC just has 2. Maryland has 6 turnovers. UNC has 1. It's been these mental mistakes, Dash, and yet the Terps are only down by 1.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly been the story of the game so far. That's a huge mental mistake right there by Schaefer with the check. But, as you said, Maryland only down 1. And at the end of the day, you'd absolutely take that if you're the Terps. So far, they've not brought their A game. They've relied on Suriano being incredible. I mean, right now, she's got a 600 save percentage, which is just remarkable, and she's keeping them in this game, but yet here they are. They're very much in this one, and you have to imagine they're going to get better as it goes along.
Gadeen notches her 21st of the season. UNC has outgunned the Terps. I mean, you have 14 shots to the Tar Heels and just 6 for the Terps. That's just a 1-goal deficit for Maryland. 7:59 to go, halfway through this second quarter here on WMUC. Happy to present this one. The Final Four. Winner of this one takes on the winner of the Northwestern versus Johns Hopkins. That game we'll have for you right after this one. Back to the center. Gilmore versus Rathjen. Tar Heels just gained a 1-goal advantage. Terps had the edge on the draw controls in the first part of the game, and now it's kind of brought in closer to even here. 4 for Maryland, 3 for UNC. Is their referee still trying to put the ball between the 2 players' sticks? It's quite a long time to be waiting to just blow the whistle here.
Yeah.
Now she backs away. And there's the draw, high up in the air for this one. It goes so high, and they call it a false start on Maryland. UNC will take it the other way.
The Tar Heels goal was scored with 7:59 remaining in
Maryland will make some substitutions, as so will the Tar Heels.
her first goal.
So there's going to be a green card on Gilmore, I think. No, it's on Edmondson.
So that's not what you need. Edmondson, Terps midfielder, leads so many defensive and offensive plays, and so she takes a seat in the chair here. Green card on Edmondson, woman up opportunity for UNC.
Problem is Maryland's just barely had possession and a chance to attack since they tied it at 3. It's been all UNC.
4-3, Tar Heels lead with 7.5 to play in the first half. That ball is on the ground, but UNC is able to collect. Eliza Osborne's got it. Goes to her left, to Gadeen. Now to the complete other side of the circle. Backing in and looking for a shot on Suriano is Levy, and she bounces it past for a 2-goal lead. Goes back to the largest deficit of the game for Maryland. as they got to get back on offense here. UNC puts himself up again. You thought that Levy had a goal earlier in this game. It was waved off. This time she's got her first, and Kathy Reese is going to use a timeout. And Dash, things just starting to slip away a little bit, but plenty of time left in this one.
Yeah, plenty of time left. I mean, Maryland has absolutely been dominated since tying it at 3-3. UNC's had all the territory and all the ball. Maryland needs to find a way to slow things down and get back in control here.
So 5-3 UNC, 7:17 to go in the second quarter. We'll take a brief break here on WMUC Sports. When we come back, more women's lacrosse Final Four action on the other side of the break.
These two teams are turning up the heat, so we want you to refresh with a Coca-Cola because they know that fan work is thirsty work.
You don't even know. I can make your hands clap.
Out of the timeout here at Martin Stadium in Evanston, Illinois. They say that we're in Chicago. Evanston, of course, is, in my opinion, not Chicago, about 10 minutes north of the city, but it doesn't mean that we're not close to the lake. Beautiful stadium they have set up here. This is the temporary home of Northwestern football as they continue building the new Ryan Stadium just down the road. You got crystal blue Lake Michigan in front of us, and you got two of the best women's lacrosse teams in the country getting ready to play. 5-3 UNC. Terps find themselves down by 2. Thanks for tuning in here to the Final Four. The first leg of it, we got Johns Hopkins and Northwestern right after this. Daniel Stein alongside my partner Dash Tischler here as these two teams return to the center circle. Kate Levy just put North Carolina up by 2. Dash, what do you want to see out of this Terps team here on the draw?
They need to get back on the attack. So far, they've actually been fairly efficient when they've gotten shooting opportunities, but they've had so many turnovers, they just haven't been able to get out of their own end. Ultimately, Maryland has just been dominated territorially. They got to just get on the attack again and relieve some pressure on this defense.
6 turnovers for the Terps to just UNC's 1. See if they can start things off with a draw. Rathjen and Gilmore there for UNC and Maryland respectively. Whistle blows and the draw is going to go into the stick of Charlotte Rathjen. Terps applying heavy pressure. Emma Abazia putting the pressure on Kaylee Harden, but she's able to duck out of the way. And UNC will go on the attack.
It's another concern for Maryland is that Rathjen has started to make that battle in the draw circle a bit more even as this game has gone along.
Terps are hanging in there, but they got to make sure that they can clamp up the Tar Heels on this possession before this one starts to get out of hand. Far side of the field here, possession with North Carolina. 60 on the shot clock. Tar Heels up 2. Osborne puts it all the way the other way to the right side. Tar Heels taking their time. Gadeen looking for a centering pass. They find Humphrey. It's saved. The rebound goes into the stick of UNC. And a whistle here as they might have gotten Maryland for a shooting space infraction. We could be looking at another free position opportunity here for North Carolina.
It's a yellow card on the play too. Looks like it's going to go against Gilmore.
Yellow card has been issued to Maryland, number 12.
Oh, it's Schaefer.
So it goes on Annabella Schaefer. It's one of the Terps' main defenders. She started the last 42 games for the Terps. Now she has to take a seat.
Darcy Felter.
Darcy Felter is going to take the free position opportunity. Nobody converts more of them than UNC. 78 coming into this game that leads the country. The senior Felter, we haven't talked about much today, have an opportunity to put herself on the board. 5-3 UNC with 6:25 in the half. On the right side, Felter fires. Soriano saves again. Loose ball and picked up by North Carolina. Terps just can't get it out of their own backyard, and UNC will go back on the attack. Soriano again coming to play.
It's another huge save.
Patillo goes left, runs into a double, hands it off, and UNC can reset. They got plenty of time, 66 seconds to shoot. Goes into the middle with Addison Patillo. All-American this season, hands it off to Osborne. Nowhere to go for UNC. Flag goes up. Once again, we have another free position here. Off-ball foul on the Terps. Soriano's going to have to make another save.
Yeah, I mean, so far she's had 7 saves on 11 shots faced.
Free position, number 13, Kate Levy.
This time it's going to be Levy, who just scored a minute ago. Center left hash mark for Levy with Sterling to her left. And Soriano in front. Levy runs up, takes the shot on Soriano, places it by her. 6-3 UNC. Levy's got her second. And this has been a dominant second frame here for North Carolina. 3 goals to Maryland's 1 here in the second quarter, and the Terps have some digging to do here as they're down by 3.
You give North Carolina this many chances, and they're going to start cashing it eventually. And I mean, Soriano's been great today, but at the end of the day, nothing she can do about that one. It's really calm head from Levy to bury it past her at close range. Maryland really needs to win this next draw control as they've lost the last 3, and they have to get back on the attack.
Levy did that one really nicely. She went all the way right, made it look like she was going far post, and then at the last second, she tucked it into the bottom left corner. It's a talented goal from a talented player. Kate Levy, who, as you mentioned, played for McDonough back in Maryland. That's a Taylor Cummings coach team at that time. Jenny Levy, the North Carolina coach, has so many connections to this general area. She was a player at UVA a couple years before Kathy Reese played at Maryland. But these coaches have crossed paths a lot over the years. 6-3, UNC leads here in the final 4. Back to the draw, and Gilmore's got it this time.
Yeah, Maryland needed that. Now they got to get at least a shot on this offensive possession.
See if they can challenge Betty Nelson in goal, who has looked mortal. Sterling to the near side. And a timeout is issued. Kathy Reese wants some time here, but she's got the ball with 4:54 to go. As the Terps huddle up in those red uniforms. Dash, what do you think the message is here going to be for Kathy? They got 76 seconds to shoot on this possession.
You got a lot of time left in the game, a lot of time left on the shot clock. Let's find a good look. Don't be too cautious, and then let it rip. I mean, they're down 3, and it's not a great look, especially in the way that UNC has really controlled the game, but they're very much still in this. And you have to imagine that if they can get a goal here, I mean, right there, you're just at 2 goals down, win a draw. They're very much in this game. They just can't let it slip away from them. They can't get too frustrated here.
Terps have had a tremendous season after a couple of down years. Last year they went 15-6, which is a down year, going 7-1 in Big Ten play. They ultimately lose in the second round. That was on Maryland's home soil. Well, this year they improved the record. They go 18-3, go past Rutgers in the second round of the tournament, and then run into a really tough Navy team. We've talked about Chloe Humphrey and how talented she is. I mean, Navy had Alyssa Chung, who's one of the best scorers in the country, and the Terps were able to make it past the midshipmen by a score of 14-10. But you just feel like this is just a different animal here in North Carolina. They didn't play each other in the regular season, but the Terps are kind of getting a taste of why this team is the defending champs.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing about that Navy team and that Navy game was that late in it, it looked like Navy might be about to put the game away, but Maryland made a late run to really take control. The thing is, though, in that game, they had a strong start and were up early. So right here, they can take confidence in the fact that they've come back before in this tournament against tough opposition, but they'll also know that they need to start much better from this point on than they did at the beginning of this game.
Terps will get their offense set up out of the timeout. Corey Edmondson's got it halfway between the middle line and the attacking third. Terps going left to right. Edmondson goes to her right out of the whistle. 4:50 to go in the first half. Terps down 6-3. One of the most successful seasons for Maryland women's lacrosse since their Final Four appearance back in 2022. Edmondson still has it in her stick. Near side, 53 seconds to shoot. Edmondson sways to the right. Sidestepping, that brace on her left shin. She draws up a play. Maisie Clevenger into the ballgame. She gets it from Edmondson. Back into the middle with Keely Block, who's been so good in this tournament. Block straight up goes right, runs into a double, and has to twist around. Block goes to the left, but just can't find a partner here. Now 25 seconds on the clock. Block goes right, wants the foul, does not get it. Gilmore through traffic, able to receive the pass. Now 15 seconds, Terps really have to generate something. Gilmore goes right, tries to get the step on her defender. Gilmore right in front of goal, could not put the power on it, and UNC is closest to it as it leaks out of bounds.
Does a great job there fighting for positioning. A 2 for Corkins. LaPointe was initially close to her, but Corkins made a smart turn to win that back for UNC. And for Maryland, it's a bit of a disappointing possession. A good look for Gilmore, but she couldn't convert.
For what it's worth, they wipe a minute off the clock, but that time is only going to become more valuable when you're down by 3. North Carolina's got it on the other side. Kylie Modis passes it to the opposite side. Now behind the goal is UNC. It's Kaylee Harden now. Left side, reaches the 12-meter circle and draws a foul on Kayla Gilmore. They're going to play on. Now they whistle it off. Kathy Reese has got both of her hands up. I mean, there's been 5 occasions just on a rough count where the Terps have wondered where the foul is. You have never seen UNC do that today because they have gotten every single call. Leads to a Chloe Humphrey free position opportunity. Center left side against Suriano, looking to put her team up by 4. Humphrey against Suriano, puts it past her. 7-3, North Carolina up by 4. As things starting to get away here for Maryland. Terps now trail by a couple, just looking for their first goal since the start of the quarter.
Yeah, and if you're Maryland, you just can't keep giving up those opportunities. But right now, they just don't really can stop UNC's offense when it gets into the zone.
4 goals for Humphrey today, and there's still over a half of lacrosse to be played. I was trying to figure out what that penalty was on as they got Kayla Gilmore for the foul. No cards were issued, but ultimately the Terps have 8 shots today and UNC has 18, and that's just not a good look for a Terps team that really is built through their defense. 2:33 to go as we go back to the center circle. Terps down 7-3 to number 2 North Carolina. Tar Heels are the top-ranked team in the coaches poll, but the number 2 seed in the tournament. Northwestern's the 1, and Hopkins the 4. Draw control won by Lexi Dupak, who wiggles past the Tar Heel. Corey Edmondson with it straight up. Terps really need a goal here, down by 4. Corey Edmondson has been quiet today. She'll take on Charlotte Corkins. Edmondson works left. Looks for LaPointe in the middle. That's a ground ball. Who is closest to it? North Carolina is, as Betty Nelson got there just a step before Kristen Shanahan. And that is another Terps turnover.
Make that 7 now today compared to just 1 for UNC.
North Carolina can use a lot of the final 2 minutes here. They have it in the attacking third of the Terps.
Yeah, if I'm the Tar Heels, I'm just going to try and be patient here and see if I can make it 8-3 before the half. That would be a huge statement.
In the middle with Eliza Osborne. North Carolina will pass it just behind the 12-meter circle. Levy goes right on Dupak, passes it behind the goal. Osborne left side against Annabella Schaefer. Fakes the flip, goes right. Osborne fires wide of the goal. UNC closest to it. They're going to keep possession. 1:18 on the clock, 43 to shoot. Terps are about a half a minute if they're able to make a stop. Rolling through is Patillo, and she rolls it past Suriano. a dominant quarter from UNC. They've outscored Maryland 5-1. And with 1:06 to go, this one's starting to slip away. Terps down by 5.
That was just too easy for Patillo. Great run through her, slams through a few Terps and puts it home. I mean, what a goal. This has been a statement half of lacrosse from UNC, but the good news for Maryland is with 1 minute and 6 seconds left, they have time to get a goal, and it feels like this is a possession they kind of have to have in this game.
Gonna have to win this draw here. It just has not been what the Terps have wanted. This first quarter started out pretty well for the Terps. They entered the second frame just down 3-2. And now here they are down by 5. Rathjen and Gilmore in the middle. Draw control, ball put between the two sticks of the Terp and the Tar Heel. It'll be flipped up. Kaylee Gilmore, the reigning Big Ten Freshman of the Year, has been so good at the draw all season long. It's been a bit of a battle today, but the Terps do have the narrow 6-5 advantage. And she's going to win another here. Dupak's going to go quickly with it. Terps have the ball going left to right. It's in the stick of the sophomore Emma Abazia. Abazia looks for a pass and found Sterling, but it was whistled off, and it's going to go UNC's way, or is it? I think maybe a Tar Heel might have crossed the line when they weren't supposed to, so it is going to stay with the Terps, but a narrow miss for Maryland just trying to set up their offense.
Tillo's picked up a green card too, so this is a huge opportunity here. 48 seconds of Maryland playing a player up. You got to take that for the Terps.
Player up opportunity for Maryland. Jordan Lipkin has it into the middle with Corey Edmondson. Terps just trying to get a goal closer here. Edmondson navigates traffic to the near side with Lipkin. LaPointe has it to the left of X. All the way out, high pass. Edmondson works inside, has the ball stripped away. Still up for grabs, but picked up by Keely Block. 20 seconds. The Terps get one more. Tight pass in the middle. Shot goes off the woodwork by Shanahan, and it finds its way into the back of the net. LaPointe was the closest to it. Not exactly how you draw it up, but the Terps with 13 seconds left in the half get the score to 8-4.
It was crash bang wallop lacrosse, but ultimately it worked. I mean, LaPointe off the crossbar, and then loose ball. There's a UNC player virtually falling on it, but a good pickup by LaPointe.
Just taking a look at the board. So Shanahan hit it off the left post. LaPointe almost had it, but then it was, I think, Clevenger who just shoveled it past Nelson, who got out of position. So Maisie Clevenger, who's had injury troubles of her own, puts up her 10th goal of the season. Referees are talking about it right now, but no review has been initiated. This is going to be a challenge, though. Assuming Jenny Levy's going to have them take a look at it.
He's definitely on the edge of the crease. We'll see if there's anything else.
So they're going to take one more look at it. As it stands, it's a goal to put the Terps just down by 4. 8-4 Tar Heels with 13 ticks to go in the half. As both teams will walk back to their sidelines. This game was close through the first 15 minutes, but North Carolina seemingly has kind of had the control over it, especially in the last 15. They've outscored the Terps by as much as 4 in the second quarter. As they're still taking a look at it. I mean, Dash, I didn't get a super good look. It looked like that Clevenger had her feet outside of the crease, but that was just kind of on eye vision, so referees are going to have better looks than we do.
Yeah, I mean, this feels like a big moment right here. If Maryland gets that goal, 8-4 at the half is still not great, but in the context of the game, you wouldn't necessarily feel hard done by. You feel like they have a shot, but down 8-3, down 5 at this stage would feel certainly not something that you could come back from, but pretty brutal for Maryland.
8-4 as the referees take a look at it. You got 2 of them along the long black scorers table that stretches on each side of the hash mark. I can't get over, I mean, I've lived in this area for 20 years and I've never been in this stadium before, but it is breathtaking for as much of a kind of, there are parts of it that kind of look like, okay, this has been adapted for a stadium that does not expect this many people, but you have the lake in the background, you have the bright green video board right in front of us, you have this massive structure that's the press box where there's at least 10 different booths as you go across, and we're in one of them right in the middle. They have done a really good job organizing this here in Evanston.
Yeah, this is a gorgeous view for sure. You've got the trees along the lake itself. It's a beautiful campus too.
On the campus of Northwestern University, right off of the city of Chicago. So we're taking one more look at it on referees out of their review. So not quite sure if our crowd mic picked it up, but the call stands 8-4. Terps get a goal and maybe some solace here as they enter halftime. There's still 13 seconds left, but that just feels like you can swing a little bit of momentum towards the Terps. And they're gonna have to dial in for the final 13 seconds.
Yeah, that was a critical goal for them for sure.
"13 seconds on the clock. And back to the draw where Kayla Gilmore has straightened things out the last couple of tries. Maryland puts the score at 8-4. They trail UNC by 4. Number 2 versus number 3. Draw control won by Gilmore. And the Terps are going to go trying to go quickly. Final 8 seconds. Edmondson darts through, gets past one circle. Shanahan has it with the ball off the woodwork. And North Carolina is going to run it out. That will be the half. Oh, so close.